Hey everybody, Mark B. Dub, Gardening Gone Wild. Welcome back to the greenhouse. It's such a great, beautiful day today here in Utah. I'm excited to film this third video of this 3-video series of So You Think You Want to Build a Greenhouse? Alright, today we're going to talk about time. What not to do in your greenhouse, growing supplies, recycling them, and a couple of publications, okay? Okay, so you think you want to build a greenhouse. It's going to take some time. I like to liken a greenhouse to having a few dairy cows. You've got to milk them every day. You've got to feed them. You've got to water them, make sure they have their feed. You've got to clean out their corrals. You've got to take care of any medicines that you need to give them if they get sick. A greenhouse, obviously you're not milking a greenhouse. You're not milking any plants, by the way, unless they're the milkweed. But no, seriously, think of the time you want to spend in your greenhouse. Are you going to want to devote 1 to 2 hours a day and possibly go into your greenhouse 2 to 3 times a day? That's what it's going to take, because when you start growing plants, you start the seeds, then the seeds sprout and they germinate. That's sprouting. And then you need to keep them watered. You don't want to let the soil dry out when your seeds are trying to start. It's too hard on the seed to get moist and dry out, get moist and dry out. So you got to be really careful there. And you've got to water those things probably a couple times a day, unless you use a humidome, put it on the top of your tray. And actually that's one of the things we're going to talk about in our next video. Okay? So you want to make sure that your seeds are moist, make sure your seedlings are watered, and then as you transplant, they're going to the bigger they grow, the more water they're going to take. And so you want to stay on top of that, okay? So think about that, and how much time are you going to devote to your greenhouse? Now the next item I want to discuss is what not to do in your greenhouse. You're going to say, Mark, but what else is there to do in a greenhouse? There's a lot to do, but a couple of things that I don't want you to do, and of course it's your greenhouse, you do with it what you want, but don't allow people, friends, neighbors, family members, whatever, to bring in their plants into your greenhouse. Now what I mean by that is, don't let them overwinter them in your greenhouse. Uncle John's going to go to Arizona for the winter to stay warm. He's going to want you to watch his ficus plant. And his wife, Aunt Mary, is going to want you to watch her pothos plant, or her mother-in-law tongue plant. Yeah, that's a tongue twister, isn't it? And then you've got your friends, your neighbors that say, oh, you've got a greenhouse. How about taking care of this heirloom geranium that I got from my great-grandma? I want to overwinter it so it'll survive the winter. Oh boy. When you start allowing people to bring in their plants into your greenhouse to overwinter them or any other time, you're just setting yourself up for failure or trouble. Those plants outside have bugs. The soils might have diseases and pathogens. They might have insects from in the house. We talked about the aphids, the whiteflies, and the fungus gnats and thrips, and the list could go on. So be careful. Be firm if you don't want to let them bring their plants in and contaminate or infest your greenhouse. You want to keep it as clean as you can to help a successful growing season every year. So remember that. Don't let people bring in their plants. Just say no. Simple as that. Another thing that you shouldn't do or don't do in your greenhouse is turn it into a storage unit. Good grief. You've got a garage, you've got a shed, maybe a shop or an outbuilding. Store all your lawnmowers, your weed whackers, all your lawn tools, yard tools in that. Don't start using your greenhouse for a storage unit. Your lawnmower has weed seeds underneath where you've mowed around the perimeter of your yard. It might have insects in there that you've sucked up and stuck into the grass clippings. Even your weed trimmer, your lawn trimmer, is going to have weed seeds and different things on it that you haven't shaken off or made sure that it's clean. So don't bring that stuff in your greenhouse. It's just not worth it, okay? All right. Now, let's talk about supplies. Yeah, we covered it just a little bit in the other previous video, but I want to talk about recyclable supplies, like your 6-packs, your 4-packs, your inserts, your trays, and your nursery pots and things like that. I've found over the years, by, I don't know if you want to call it sad experience, but tough luck, that I've thought, man, I'm going to save some money. I'm going to take my neighbor's, all of his 6-packs and all of his nursery pots and all that back in and try to recycle them, right? Don't do it. Don't do it unless you absolutely can afford to get new stuff every year, new supplies, because what's happening is bugs are harboring in the soil that's left in those 6-packs or pony packs. There's spiders that get in there. Black widows will hunker down and kind of hibernate in there, and then when you bring all that stuff into the greenhouse where it's warm and cozy, those insects, those bugs are going to come alive. And the last thing you want to do is reach down in a gallon container to get something and there's a big old juicy red-bellied black widow. Yeah, you don't want that. So I always try to shy away from collecting people's recyclable, I call it, plastics. Just have them recycle it or throw it in the trash, whatever you do to dispose of it, okay? Don't take it, okay? Don't take it. Try to get new stuff every year and provide that for your customers or yourself. If you do have to do it or you do think you need to do it, make sure you be very careful. You mix your Clorox water. I usually go 1 parts to 4. So if I've got 4 gallons of water, I want to do 1 cup of Clorox in that water so that it will help to disinfect everything. Make sure you clean it out and make sure you watch, especially for black widows, okay? So, all right. Yeah, I hope you enjoy what you're watching. If you do, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed to my channel. Hit the like button, share, and comment below, because that's the way I'm going to be able to help you out in being successful in your little greenhouse in your backyard. Okay? Now, a couple of publications I recommend. The first one, I really like to grab this book here. This is an awesome publication. This is called Success with Seeds. It has over 300 to 400 different plants in here that tell you all of the growing habits, the temperatures, the depth to plant the seed, to space them when you're transplanting them in the garden if you don't already know how to do all that stuff. It's got everything you can imagine in here. In fact, I'm just going to open it up just like this right here and show you, just to kind of get an idea. You know, there's some vegetables right there. It talks about your carrots, how deep to plant them, if you should cover them or not, and all kinds of other stuff in there, okay? In the front of the book, it talks a little bit about growing containers and grow boxes and things like that. So Karen Park Jennings, the author of this book, did a fabulous job. Of course, she had some help from other members of her team there at Park Seed. So good job, Karen. It's about 10 or 12 bucks on parkseed.com. You could get it on Amazon, but I always like to support Park Seed. They have such an amazing selection of seeds for us to grow in our gardens, right? So 10 to 12 bucks is probably what you're going to pay online. It's a must-have book in your library. It will help you become a very knowledgeable and very informed grower, okay? And that's what you're going to become when you build your little greenhouse out back. Now, another publication, I actually don't have a copy of it here with me, but if you can subscribe to the Greenhouse Product News, you can go online and look up Greenhouse Product News or gpn.com. Hopefully that'll bring up Greenhouse Product News. I haven't tried that, but Meister Media is the company that publishes that magazine, and it has a lot of information in there for you to learn how to grow in a greenhouse, from insects to diseases, watering, fertilization, seasonal things, and so on and so forth. So awesome little publication to get is Greenhouse Product News. Now, remember, if you're going to order a greenhouse to build from anywhere, try to give Atlas Greenhouse a chance or an opportunity. Again, I don't get paid from Atlas Greenhouse to endorse them or to mention their name on my videos, but they've helped me out so much over the last umpteen years that they're a great company, great people to work with. Their technical support's awesome. Jim Williams, the salesman that I do all my work with, is amazing. He knows his stuff. All their supplies, all the equipment and things like that, they can help you out with whatever you need for your greenhouse, okay? If you want to do the benches the right way and spend that extra money for aluminum benches with a nice plastic Southwest Plastics tabletop, hey, they can help you out with that too, okay? So, hey, thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for taking the time to learn with me, to grow with me, and to have fun. I hope you've enjoyed these videos. My next video that we're going to have here in a little bit is we're going to talk about containers, 6-packs, pony packs, trays, seedling trays. Which seedling tray should you use? From a 128 cell to a trough cell tray to use. Your web trays. The list goes on and on and on. So be watching for that video to come up next. It'll be shortly. Thank you, and again, make sure if you haven't subscribed to subscribe to my channel. That helps me, gives me a little confidence so that I can keep doing these things and sharing what I know with everybody, okay? Thank you, and we'll see you next time. I'm Mark V. Dub with Gardening Gone Wild. See ya.